Obama's campaign conceded that Governor Romney's preparation appeared to pay off. They insist the president was not off his game. Joining us now to discuss last night's debate from an image perspective is Natalie Jobity. She is the president of Elon Image Management. Thank you so much for coming in this evening.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
All right, so we'll skip the substance. We'll skip the fact checking. Who was the better communicator when it comes to style last night?
Honestly, I have to give it to Romney. He really came out aiming to win. He hit hard. He was commanding, authoritative. He was even presidential at times. I have to give it to Romney.
Let's talk about what helped each candidate. What helped the president and what hurt him? One of the things you said about the president and his strengths are his ability to connect to voters. And we saw that several times throughout the evening.
Not enough, but a few times. I mean, when he's able to engage and just be more natural and be more of his natural self, he can connect. But he didn't do that enough in this debate at all. So we didn't get a connection factor from him.
Meaning he should have looked more directly.
Looked more to camera, spoken in more conversational tone, not use all that verbiage, not be so bogged down with being so professorial as he always does. He's always trying to, educate. This wasn't the time for that. Yeah.
What really hurt him, though?
What really hurt him was his lack of command and presence. It was like he wasn't there. He wasn't there as the president. He wasn't there as the strong, confident, commanding leader as we know him to be. It was on a scale of 1 to 10. He was himself, but on a scale of 1 to 10, he was like a 4. He needed to be a 10 that night. He needed to be a 10. This is not a time to be like, I'm off my game. He was just too passive. He was too reined in. He did not even look at Romney enough time, so he wasn't making that eye contact with Romney. We, the viewer, are seeing not just him looking at us, but him engaging with his candidate. He didn't. So it looked like Romney, who did that, it looked like Obama was kind of conceding, and it just gave him a whole impression of being just weak and passive.
So
and
Romney seemed to be more in charge because he appeared to be more engaged, not just with the audience,
but
with
Obama,
the president as well. Let's
exactly.
talk about Governor Romney, because you say there's some things that both helped and hurt him.
Yes.
Let's go to one quick soundbite real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Look, I got 5 boys. I'm used to people saying something that's not always true, but just keep on repeating it and ultimately hoping I'll believe it. But that is not the case.
So one of the things that's different about what Governor Romney needed to do and what the president needed to do was that the governor has had to really kind of make himself likable.
Exactly.
Was that a likable moment?
Actually, I'm kind of torn about that, because I feel like he was trying to be funny, but it came off a little bit forced, and it was kind of like it's scripted a little bit. So to me, not really. I don't think he scored on likability. I think he scored on command and authority and confidence. Whereas the president, who has that likability, that's his sweet spot. That's his core. He is likable. He didn't lose any of that, but he did not gain anything in terms of command. And can this guy run the country? Can he do another 4 years? Do we have the confidence that he can? That performance kind of makes you want to know. Like, he didn't portray that, so he needed more command, absolutely.
One last thing you said Governor Romney needed to do that was sort of a shortfall for him is a smirk. He had sort of a smirk as the president spoke throughout the evening.
Sometimes it looked like he was just looking, but there are times when it was kind of almost like a little condescending to me. Like, I think he was feeling himself. He was certainly feeling that he was doing well, and maybe, perhaps, I'm guessing. And at times it came off a little bit condescending, a little bit smirky, as opposed to just smiling pleasantly. So I felt that was a little bit on a downside thing, but overall, it's minor compared to how well he did in terms of the other parts.
Well, we know this is the first of several debates, so both candidates will have an opportunity to tweak their style, tweak their substance, and do things a little bit differently, and we'll get to see that quite soon. Natalie Jobity, thank you so much for coming in this evening. And Anita, I'll send it over to you.
All right, Leslie, thank you. Very insightful. Dorothy's ruby slippers, they're on the move. The famous shoes worn by Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz are bound for London's Victoria and Albert Museum. The slippers will be exhibited along with Dorothy's blue and white dress. When the London exhibit opens later this month, the last day they'll be on display here is Monday, and the Smithsonian will hold a bon voyage ceremony on Tuesday.
An unusual traffic hazard on an unusual mission. Coming up, an emu looks for love, but in all the wrong places. Up next, though, Good Samaritans come to the rescue of a woman when a thief tries to snatch her purse. See what happens. And don't forget, we're always on at WUSA9.com. We'll be back in a minute.
They may be retired, but they're still working. These seniors are giving out 8 million pounds of food. Who's getting it? Tonight on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
When Tim Kaine proposed harsh funding cuts for Virginia schools, one Democrat called it a